out to Lench. That's a really good cross.
Imran Kayani, 22, forward, current club, White Hawk, international for Pakistan.
Imran Kayani is an international that made his name at non-league. Today we find out a bit more about his journey.
To be honest, ever since I started playing, I just fell in love with it. The feeling of scoring a goal, dribbling past players, I've always enjoyed that. So yeah, from a young age, I knew that it was what I wanted to do, and I was going to work hard to obviously achieve my dreams.
South Asians are a community that's heavily underrepresented in the pro game. Today we visit Imran's hometown of Woking to find out what type of lengths he went to as a kid to turn his dreams to a reality.
Lunchtime, break time before school, we'd get there early, get our trainers on, kickball everywhere. Teachers would hate it, cause chaos, but nah, 24/7, just anywhere I could literally.
This is the come up, where we talk to the stars of tomorrow today to find out what makes them tick, what type of sacrifices they've made, and ultimately to celebrate how far they've come already.
I joined like a Sunday team that my friends were playing at, and I must have scored a hat-trick, and I just thought like, yeah, this is sick. I want to do this every week. And I think my parents and like the people on the side were like, has he been at a club? And they were like, no, this is his first game. So I think they knew quite early on. At 11, when Chelsea were interested, then I thought, okay, cool, like maybe this can go somewhere. Even then, you're still very young. Touching on the Asian thing, I knew I was at a bit of a disadvantage because there was no one I could look up to and be like, he's like me, he can make it, so can I. My immediate family were very supportive. Extended from that, or like the community and stuff, they kind of used to tell my dad that he's wasting his time, like, Imran's never going to make it, which obviously hurt him and hurt me, but I think it kind of fueled my passion even further, like to prove them wrong. He'd come back from work after a long day, hard graft, and straight away I'm there, like ready to go to training. He's driving up and down the country, spending like a lot of time for me, obviously financially as well, like at that age, you're buying your kits or whatever it might be, your boots and stuff. So yeah, like I said, I'm very grateful to him. Even my mum, she was always supporting me. Maybe like after a bad game or something, I wouldn't be the best person to be in the house, but she was always showing me love and affection. I said to them like, cool, I'm going to get good grades, I'm going to keep that alive. But they always said, as long as you do that, we're going to fully support you in chasing your dreams. So I'd say to any other young kid or any other parent watching, like I would never force their kid to go down a certain field. I'd say whatever their passion is, just support them. With my dad and stuff, I think he shows his love in other ways, so he might have been a bit more tough on me, or I might have scored 4 goals and he'd be like, oh, but you could have done this, and I was thinking oh my days, what more can I do? But I think that drove me to always strive for perfection, so I wouldn't change anything. This road, a lot of PTSD here. So this is a hill near my house. It's about probably a mile away. Me and my dad would come here probably 3-4 times a week in pre-season, or before pre-season, sorry, almost every day. He'd make me jog all the way down, all the way up as a warm-up. So from this pole here, like I mentioned, to the green pole over there, about 70 metres. Sprint there, jog back. I'd do that about 10 times. I remember one of my friends, he was in a good academy at the time, and he wanted to get some extra training in, and he came down. And my dad was like, cool, let's see how fit he is. Obviously, I thought he'd be super fit. He said after the night he was about to throw up, and I was thinking right, this is if it's challenging players like that, it's going to be really beneficial to me. So after 10 sprints, then I'd go to that pole there, and he'd make me do 10 longer ones. And then I'd run backwards as well.
Run backwards?
Yeah, run backwards. So I think Muhammad Ali, he was big on, running backwards. And because obviously in boxing you go forward, backwards. Even in football, there's a lot of sideways, lateral, forward, backward movements. So I think it strengthens your knees as well, reduces injury. So at the time I thought he was crazy. Why am I running backwards? Why am I sprinting? I want to kick ball. But I think it paid off. It made me obviously much more quicker, much more fitter. And yeah, as much as I hated it at the time, I wouldn't change anything. My granddad came to the country and he worked as a bus driver. My dad as well worked really hard to ensure I got a good education, a good upbringing. So seeing kind of some of the houses here, and it was motivation for me to obviously go that extra bit further, make sure I'm doing an extra sprint every time I'm here, and yeah, just so I can obviously give back to my family, hopefully retire my mum, etc. And yeah, it was just extra motivation for me. I think I wanted this house because when I got to the top, I was finished my run, so I always signified it with relief and stuff.
Imran's clearly passionately dedicated to his dream. An attacker with skill, flair, technique, athleticism, strength, dedication and discipline. I wanted to probe a bit deeper into why he thinks South Asians are underrepresented in the game.
If you look at the population in England, quite a heavy percentage is obviously South Asian, but you don't see any in the game. I think there is still a bit of maybe subconscious racism. So if a coach is looking at 2 players, he's probably thinking okay, have any actually made it where he's from? Probably not. that's what I felt like in my career. Like, to get the same opportunity, I've had to probably work 2-3 times as hard or perform 2-3 times as well as my counterparts. Like, for example, with black players a while ago, there weren't any. Then once you see a few break through, I think then, do you know what I mean, it sets the path for the next generation. So hopefully I can be that pioneer and try and play at the highest level possible, just to inspire kids, and they can have a recognisable face that, okay, cool, like he's done it, I can do it as well, because undeniably there's so much talent. It's just about, yeah, getting the opportunity, to be fair. I must have been at uni one day and I just see like a +92 message on my phone. I'm thinking, like, who's that? That's the area coach for Pakistan. I thought maybe it's like a relative that's got my number from a group chat. I've opened the message now and it's like, hello, I'm XYZ from like PFF, Pakistan Football Federation. Like, we have a camp for the World Cup qualifiers. Like, we'd want to call you up. Like, are you available to fly on these days? I couldn't believe it. Like, I ran out my lecture, hopped on the phone with him because I think I had a missed call, and like spoke to him, and he kind of just told me that they'd been monitoring me and like I've been doing well and stuff. And the flight that he wanted me to go on was literally the day after tomorrow. So like it was so erratic, it was so quick. I had a game the next day for Whitehawk, called the gaffer there and then saying like, I've been called up to the national team, like I'd have to leave obviously for this amount of time. He was really happy, like he didn't stop me from going. Then the next day I had uni actually in the morning, game in the evening. It was an away game. I probably got home at like 1 o'clock. My flight was like at 8 AM in the morning. Didn't sleep. Like, I was obviously so excited. Like, come home scrambling, unpacking my bags, and then within a few hours I was on the plane. Like, it didn't even have time to sink in. I think when I got there, met the manager, like started training, I was thinking like, right, this is like actually happening. Like, to represent your country is a dream of mine, and I'm sure like a dream of many people. So for it to actually become a reality, yeah, like I'm so thankful, and I just want to give 110% every time I wear the green shirt. I remember when we were going to training from the hotel, they had like guards with like guns and stuff. I was thinking like, this is crazy. I think one of my boys said to me a year ago, I was watching Argentina play Saudi in the World Cup. A year later, I'm playing against them. Like, to think of it like that, I was like, I didn't really. Obviously, when you're in the moment, you just want to do well. You're just kind of locked in. Then when he said that to me, I kind of took a step back, like, right, like I'm ticking off like dreams I've had as a kid. Like, I was so happy. And like, as I've left the changing room, I'm just hearing so much noise. I'm thinking, I thought it was like a speaker playing like automated noise. And I walked out and I just seen like, I think there was about 25,000 people or something like that. It was so loud. I was thinking like, when there's more people watching, like I find it like, it kind of gives me that adrenaline and I want to perform. Like, I really like it. So I was like, oh, if I get on, like, I'll be buzzing. And I remember half time, gaffer comes to me like, you're coming on. I'm thinking like, oh my days, like get warm, my legs are like shaking. Obviously I'm really excited though. And then I remember like, as I'm coming on, I look to my left and it's like Roberto Mancini and Yaya Toure, like he's the gaffer and Yaya was the assistant. I'm thinking like, these are kind of like figures that I've looked up to as a kid. For the first 1 or 2 minutes, I was like, right, this is crazy. Like, it felt like a dream. And then after that, I was just locked in. I wanted to do as well as I could. Yeah, it's the moment I'm never going to forget, to be fair. I didn't feel out of my depth. I felt quite comfortable. Obviously, when you're watching on TV, like, it's hard to kind of know where you're at. But when you're there playing live, like, in terms of, like, speed I felt good. I felt sharp. And I think Gaffer said to me after, like, he was impressed with my performance. And, like, obviously, playing non-league and then playing international is, like, two major different things, and he said like I did really well. So yeah, alhamdulillah, like I'm very happy, and I think that gave me confidence to like I can play higher, I can obviously play in like competitions like the World Cup and stuff. So I'm just really excited to hopefully keep getting more caps and kind of showcasing what I can do and put Pakistan on the map, because there's a lot of talent there and I just want us to do really well. Yeah, all the clubs I'd been at, everyone welcomed me in really well. I've got no complaints. And I think if they see that you're a good player, they give you respect no matter what your age. So the fans are great. That's one obviously big aspect of non-league. Like, they follow you home in a way, like there's a real connection with them. And I think that's really like wholesome. I remember like the first time I heard them singing my name, I was thinking, this is crazy. Oh, Imran Kayani. Couldn't stop that, get that out of my head after that. Like, Whitehawk have made a few one, like, Imran, the one and only. Like, it's obviously, it's proper nice from them.
Imran's name rings bells in non-league, but I wanted to talk about his childhood and the types of things he did then in order to develop into the player he is today. I
actually used to play with a lot of people that were much older than me, so my uncle used to come down with his friends. I must have been 14, 15 at the time, and playing against, like, yeah, grown men. So I think that was actually a good experience in terms of having to use my body more. Obviously, when you're playing your age, you can get away with, like, at that time, just being quick or whatever. But I think that really matured me as a player, and I probably learned a lot here that is obviously transferable onto the pitch. So yeah, I've got some very fond memories here, and I still come here now to get some sessions in. Small side as well, so I feel like in those type of games, like you can kind of utilize skills more. You have a lot more 1v1 situations, which is obviously one of my key attributes as a winger. I mean, you know that boy that made his Arsenal debut recently, Ethan Nwaneri, yeah. So when I was at Slough, we had a pre-season game against the reserves academy. He was playing, but like you could just tell he's got tech, like. And I think a few months after that, obviously he made his debut, like fully deserved, like proper top quality player. Another one I'd say is a guy called Musa Tamari. So he played for Jordan when we played him in the World Cup qualifiers. He plays in Ligue 1. So I think he scored a brace against Lyon, played against like PSG recently. But like the way he dribbles, like he was just so sharp, like first to everything, had a finish on him as well. Like them two are top, it's probably like the best two I'd say. Visiting, I'm hitting crossbar, bro. Touch and braps. Told you, bro.
From non-league to the international stage sounds like a dream story. But we know there's ups and downs, and I wanted to get some highs and lows.
I'm a big believer of like everything happens for a reason, so kind of all the good things, all the bad things, they've kind of got me to where I am, made me stronger, made me more resilient. So I maybe wouldn't change anything, but I think in terms of advice, I'd just say like, don't get too highs with a high and don't get too low with the lows. Like just stay humble, stay focused, and always just keep working on your craft. A big thing in football is obviously opinions. It's a game of opinions, so I'd say don't let people's opinions kind of define you. Like when you've had a setback or been told you're not good enough, just use that as kind of fuel to motivate you further. Because I heard one piece of advice someone's given, like, oh, be realistic, and I think that's probably kind of the worst piece of advice you can give, because, do you know what I mean, I think it's good to have big ambitions and big dreams, and no one should tell you that you can't achieve this or you can't achieve that. I think if you put your mind to something, work hard, then, and leave the rest with God, then yeah, you've got a good chance. So when I was at Sutton, I was originally with the under-19s. I think I scored like 8 goals in 3 or 4 games in pre-season, and then I got injured, and the day I got injured was the first team manager had contacted the academy manager saying that we want him in, he's going to be part of the first team and like train with us, and hopefully I can get a game or two. And then yeah, hearing that kind of broke my heart. I remember during that period I was so meticulous in my recovery. I was getting proper sleep, like the way I was eating was like unreal in terms of, I'd done a lot of research on kind of the best foods to aid recovery, eating a lot of like oily fish, salads, getting all my vitamins in, eating a lot of protein. I think my mum said to me at the time she was scared I was going to get fat, but I think I actually got in better shape just because of like how careful I was with my diet. But yeah, coming back from that was obviously very satisfying, but that was definitely a low point mentally and physically in my football career. Just past these cars here, there's like a few pull-up bars and stuff. Me and my boy used to come down. KJ, he's good friends of mine, and like we'd get workouts in. So I've got fond memories here as well throughout the winter or pre-season when it was freezing cold, we were getting the work in. So yeah, this is another one of the places that I used to come to. Just trying to find the goal, that one goal of the season when I was at Slough. I think that'll be a good one to show.
So how was it? A penalty?
So I'm just going to come, that's me now.
Down the line here for Kayani. Oh, skips it man easily. Now it's a 3-on-3 here for Slough. Kayani cuts inside with the ball. Still running, takes a shot. Oh, Kayani with an equaliser!
Yeah. Gaffer had told me, like, based on my performance, I was getting a contract. So before the game, he pulled me to the side. I remember he texted me saying, I need you to come in early, I need to talk to you. I thought I was in trouble or something. He told me, like, oh, we're going to offer you a contract, like, obviously take your time to think about it, whatever. Obviously, so that day was special already. And then, yeah, to score was like the cherry on top. But I remember the ball came into me. I knew the football was always quite tight to me, so I thought if I give him a little step and turn, and luckily, like, kind of just dummied it and it went through, he slipped over, which I think made it a little better, which is probably why I won it. But and then as I'm driving, I see my striker like make a run like across, so it's dragged one of the centre backs out. There was a massive gap in the middle, and obviously I'm left-footed. I like to cut in, just cut in. The angles opened up, and luckily just finessed and was buzzing to see it hit the back of the net. Yeah.
We're absolutely buzzing for Imran, and we wish him nothing but the best for the future. But the very last question we got is, where would he be if it wasn't for football?
I was actually going to go into medicine or dentistry. Obviously, it would have been a bit difficult to balance my football, but maybe you would have seen Dr. Kayani or something instead of the footballers. So yeah, the platform that you guys have made and helping non-league players, like young players, putting them on the map is really good, and got a lot of time for it. So yeah, I'm happy for you that obviously you got to see my area. I hope that you've kind of enjoyed it and that it's given you a bit of a better insight. So I just want this kind of video to inspire, especially the South Asian community, but any young player, trying to make it into the game. Yeah, just to work hard, do everything you can, like on and off the pitch, and yeah, it's been a really good day. So I'm off to train.